Okay, I'd like to know what they're protecting my grandson from. It's spring coming, eh? I was gonna go and dig up some patches of grass and try and just, fill in those bald spots there so my grandson would have a little more grassy space. And, this box over here, his mom and him made last year with me. Obviously I made the box, and then his mom carted the dirt, and he helped to cultivate the seeds, and he'd go in there with his little shovels and everything and plant his seeds and pick the strawberries that grew in there. Now, there's the big garden bed, but I don't know if I'm going to do anything. My son wants to carry on with the greenhouse part here, and he was looking forward to that, but I don't see what the point is. My grandson's not here. Here's a slide, and I actually found a ladder there, if you can see. Somebody was throwing that out, so I was going to make a slide for him. These neighbors next door, they're not very friendly, but, I don't know. Either or, who wants to come out here and... Those are the blueberry bushes I planted with him. Where are we? Here we go. Blueberry bushes. Where are they? Right there. I planted with Andre. I don't know how that's abusive. What are these people protecting my grandson from? Here's his cats. Boots and Princess, who he probably already forgot by now. Okay, so I want to know what they're protecting my grandson from. This is stuff I bought before he was taken away, right? And we know that he has other ones, right? $1.99. You can't go wrong, right? Again, do these people... Okay, so what are they protecting him from? Child protection. Are they protecting him from the backyard and the garden? And planting blueberry bushes and strawberry plants and stuff like that. Obviously, when I found this, I was so happy because we used to sing "Oh, MacDonald Had a Farm" all the time. So I was going to put it in front of him, when we were singing "Oh, MacDonald Had a Farm." How is my grandson being protected, and from what? Okay, so I need to know what social services protecting Andre from. What are they protecting Andre from? When my girls go there, they say, Andre's in our care now. Go away, little girls. He's in our care. And my 17-year-old says, well, that's not right. That's not what, they're not caring for him. Okay? And if they are, what kind of care are they giving him? And what are they protecting him from? After this, I'll bring the camera and I'll put it a little closer. But right now, this is Andre's family. We know that we're over here, right? And we got limited assets in terms of an 81 Oldsmobile and a court-appointed lawyer with limited rights. And as a matter of fact, yesterday I went and took one of these court-appointed, things because I'm trying to put custody in, and the lady sat there and said, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you because you're up against the ministry, so therefore meeting me is insignificant. So I don't even know why I was sent there, but I got the piece of paper to say I went. Okay, so that's what I mean by limited rights. We don't have rights, or they're very limited. In the meantime, social services is protecting Andre from, and this is the list on our side of the fence, okay? Love, nurturing, acceptance, family support, nana, aunties, and uncles, fun. They're protecting him from fun. Positive memories. They're removing his positive memories by replacing them with bad, angry, sad, very upset memories. That's the memories he's got right now. That's why the last time they seen him, he curled up into a ball and he cried and he cried and he cried. And then he stopped crying and then he would cry and cry and cry again. Because those are the memories that this side of the fence is instilling into my grandson, because they're trying to protect him from good memories. Boots! Princess! Oh, McDonald's, Wheels on a Bus! They're protecting him from music, because we know Mama Lynn likes to have lots of musical instruments around the house, so he gets the privilege of playing with some of these things. pets. He's been removed from his pets, so they're protecting him from his pets. So he's probably already forgotten Boots, Princess, Mickey, and Annabelle. Well, Annabelle's gone. Something happened to Annabelle. Boots, Princess, Mickey, oh, Elsie. Elsie's in the house. And then there's Niblet. That's my dad's wife's cat. They're protecting him from growing up happy. Because when he was here, he was happy. He was number one. His needs came first. Okay? They're protecting him from home education. That's what the organ was for. That's what all his books were for. That's why he has books. That's why he has his little buses with the people and all this stuff, right? And all the musical instruments. That's why he has a yard. But they're protecting him from that. You know, he can't learn at home with his family. He can't have access to those things. From being first, they're protecting him from being first in line. Because in our family, he was the smallest, and his needs came first. Okay? We put a lot of time into Andre. Even his little friend, Sensi, is missing Andre. Asking where Andre is. Because Andre had his friends too. So they're actually protecting him from his friends. So I should write down from his friends. Because he's not allowed to see his friends anymore. They're protecting him from developing naturally. In terms of growing up in a family and having access to his personal toys and, you know, his personal space and, you know, his right to belong. They're protecting him from his natural development for his right to belong within his family and to grow up with some self-esteem. And a chance for a positive future. They're protecting him from that because they're preventing him from developing naturally. Okay, because we know he's crying. On this side of the fence over here, these are the risks to Andre. Higher chance to be sexually abused. I'm going to bring it to the table because of stranger danger. For every child in the United States, 85,000 goes to the federal government, employs 28 people. So that child comes into contact 28 times within a period of days with different individuals that, you know, do their little security checks. But at the end of the day, are we sure? Are we absolutely sure that none of these children get sexually abused along the way? And if they're not being sexually abused, then they're definitely being manhandled. Because you're dealing with bullies that are taking these children from a loving home that can offer an actual, future for these children to grow up and maybe go to college. I had one in college. You know, maybe he's not doing as well as he can right now because he's depressed. You know, I had an A student, but now she's failing because, you know, she's depressed. But I guess for this side of the fence, it's okay though, because at some point it's going to create employment for these people. So, risks to Andre. Manhandled by strangers on a daily basis. Hunger, cold, isolation. I say hunger because he liked to eat all the time. And since my kids have been seeing him and they, you know, share food with him, all he's doing is just wolfing it down. So that tells us he's not getting enough. And the people that have him, I don't think they care about him because they don't care if he sees his family. They want to keep his family away. So if they want to keep his family away, then why would they feed him properly? Why would they clothe him properly? My daughter's saying, you know, they put a little jean jacket on. It's cold outside. Why didn't they put on the nice warm puffy black jacket that we dropped off when we dropped off his clothes? Why is she bringing him with a thin little jean jacket on? So he'll be cold. And isolation. Well, we already know they isolated him away from his family. But they're not, social services is not protecting Andre from that. Represents a paycheck. That's the risk to Andre. Because these people getting paid. So they have the incentive to keep him. A science study on brain development under high anxiety. So you're dealing with a government agency that's connected to every, you know, agency of importance along the line with technology. And we know that in today's society, technology is the one that gets the most funding and sciences and that type of stuff. So again, you know, there's a study on these children. There usually is with children in foster care. It's you know, in the United States, you know, they were doing radiation tests on children in foster care. They were doing in the black community up in the New York area. They were injecting children before HIV had a, you know, a stable body of, you know, medicines to treat that illness. They were using children as a means to see how much the body could handle with some of these, you know, these antibiotics and whatever they were giving people with HIV, right, AIDS, you know, as a treatment for their illness. They were using foster children as the initial beginning studies. My grandson's a foster child, so how do we know he's not on some, you know, medical study at this point? Because we got the foster parent, you know, the foster caregiver sitting up there saying, well, he's got behavioral problems. He's acting out, you know? Well, I wonder why. Because he's been deprived of all this positive stuff that social services is trying to protect him from. Represents bragging rights for the teenager that I forgot about. You know, going to school. Oh, I got a little monkey baby. It's called a foster child. You know, my mom's popular because she's looking after the children in the community with their lousy parents abandoning them. So she gets to go to school and brag around with all her friends, while other kids are listening and happen to know Andre. So now you got a rift between the teens, because it's between those that have and those that have not. Social services did that, not me. Stranger danger by multiple persons and at random intervals on a regular daily basis. Every day they're exposing him to strangers, and they got the nerve to come up into my house and tell me to kick my daughter out because they want her to learn not just to leave him with anybody when she was leaving him with us. I asked the counselor, I said, look, I know what my family needs. You need to sit your butt down. I've said this before. Have them all come in so that the siblings can tell their sister that she's got to stop taking advantage of them. But it didn't warrant this freaking guy going back and causing all this shit so these people could come back in here and say, I'm giving you an ultimatum. Kick out your daughter or we're taking away your grandson. Because she's got to learn that she just can't leave the baby with anybody. But here they themselves are doing it every day, multiple times a day with multiple strangers. That's stranger danger, and they're putting him at risk to sexual abuse, among psychological abuse and every other abuse under the book. He's falling into deep psychological depression. My grandchild is depressed because people with all the privileges have no morality, and they're out to protect him from his family, so they can justify their paychecks. And now they're mislabeling my grandchild to be bad because he's acting out. Because he wants to come home. He wants to have fun time again. He wants to be with his pets. He wants to be with his aunties. He wants to play his organ. He wants to play his piano. He wants to play his drums. He wants to sing Wheels on the Bus. Loss of family and self. That's what this side of the fence is putting on Andre's plate at not even 2.5 years old. He is just a baby. Developing low self-esteem at a very, very early age. So this family can go up and say, yeah, we're the bomb. We're the bags of chips. We're the ones that contribute the most in society. Well, let me tell you something. This year, this summer, when I start giving my stuff away, I'm going to start working on making maybe a dissolution on my nonprofit. Because if this is the kind of shit that I have to deal with, there is no point in continuing to beat my head up against the wall working on a nonprofit when these kind of people, want to throw up a monkey wrench and treat my children like garbage and destroy my little grandson so they can prop up some fallacy. There's no point. Bullying. They're exposing him to bullying every day by throwing him up in Christy Clark's fucking daycare pen. It's like a corral, corralling all the freaking cattle, you know? You take the little male calf, and what do they do with the little male calves? they slaughter them. They have absolutely no use for the little male calves up in these milking farms. You know? They either let them die right there, or they put them in a little pen. They give them a minimal amount of nothing so that their muscles turn into jelly, so that when they slaughter them, people can say that they're eating veal. Wow. How are they protecting my grandson? What are they protecting my grandson from? What are they protecting my grandson from? They need to explain themselves. And this little teenager, with her mom, with their happy smiley faces, can you see that? There's the happy little family. And there's my little angry grandson. And it's getting worse. Because now he's got behavioral problems. Right? Because he wants to come home. He wants to come home to his family, where he had fun and where he belonged. And if you notice, my family, everybody's got sad faces. And look at our brains. And look at the endorphins around our brains. And his mom? Well, I don't know what's going to happen to his mom. But this really tipped her over the edge. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get her back from this. But the rest of my family, well, these people took care of that now, didn't they?